Hi everyone, and welcome to my presentation. This video is curated and tailored for Miss Professor Eve Wood, who I hope enjoys my student art critique and formal analysis regarding the two works I chose and their relationship to technology. Technology has been a lifelong tool which forwards progress, accessibility, convenience, and connectivity. It is a pioneering force which has turned the tides on how people interact with each other and the world around them. These feats of innovation have influenced culture and inspire artists to respond to these technological advances through their work by process, concept, and application. Since technology is such a staple for change, its influence is wide-spanning and covers all aspects of the art-making process. Mouth of the Sin of Honfleur by Claude Monet and Assembly of Sea Forms by Barbara Hepworth both carry similar maritime themes and undertones to present the idea of technology in a way that calls to the past and echoes towards the future, using line, color, and light. Mouth of the Sin at Honfleur is an 1865 Impressionist debut featuring Claude Monet's avant-garde realist approach depicting seafaring vessels sailing off the Normandy coast, where the water washes down into the English Channel. Monet uses line to draw attention to the collection of boats on the water and connect to the way technology has lineage and has been used early on to promote expedited travel, commerce, and even leisure and lifestyle. Using triangular shapes and implied line, Monet is able to connect parts of the piece to one another, mirroring a visual consistency that relates to the way a triangle is balanced and foundational, much like the way nature interacts with earlier forms of technology, or archaic technology in the piece, especially considering the time period and the fact industrialization has not yet occurred. Found within the structure of the lighthouse in relation to the ships in the foreground, as well as the accompanied ships in relation to each other, the sails, the roofs on the houses towards the left, the open sky amidst the clouds, the arrangement of birds spanning on the right soaring up, and the canoe with adjacent paddles on either side are all examples of triangular line and shape which have been integrated in the structure of the piece. The cluster of sailboats also offers a scope into how technology can become a pastime or means of exploration and relate to a lifestyle and developing culture. Light and color coincide in the piece and give a further clarity to the forms that are prominent and not. The same way light is seen promoting the movement and stalemate of elements in Monet's work is the same way modern technology has grown and expanded to outshine the people who created it. A diagonal light source shines overhead on a lone sailboat oriented rightward, cast in the distance but is still eye-catching and a more dominant image on the sea than the canoe in the foreground, which illustrates the most archaic form of technology and most people present in the piece. While technology is highlighted and accentuated in the piece using light, it also gives way to the darkness of human fears and dispositions relating to progressive technology. There is a dichotomy present that the very thing in which humans develop and innovate is the very thing that'll deem us displaced, undesirable, and outmoded. Color reaffirms the light source depicted in the piece, as well as each figure's sensibility. The lonely sailboat adorned with the virgin white sail calls to the fact that technology is progressive and fast-moving, but also young and alluring. It relates to the sky, the clouds of change, and fleeting upward momentum signaled by the birds above, which contrast the earthier colors and darker tones present throughout the rest of the piece. This can be a way the artist naturalizes the space and creates an even greater balance between man and nature. Embodying the foundations of Impressionism, Monet uses painterly brushstrokes and layering to visualize a chaos hidden in the spurs of the day, depicted in the piece, relating to the undertones of human perception regarding progressive technology. Barbara Hepworth, in her 1972 modern work based in contemporary realism titled Assembly of Sea Forms, uses similar oceanic themes to Claude Monet, but in a totally different context, which still calls for simplicity and balance between man and nature, while also forming progressive ideologies around the way inorganic materials can form organic relationships, and how these sculptural pieces are personified or personalized to give way to connectivity and accessibility when interacting with the viewer, similar to the way technology does. Utilizing line and light, Hepworth uses the environmental mechanics of ocean friction to inspire the smooth lines and overall finish of the work, perfecting edgeless corners and baby-soft, sleek textures that relate to the way modern technology is made in consideration to the user. Presentation and accessibility are forwarded with the use of such an open space and wide podium, where the viewer can explore and grapple a more personal connection to the piece's structure. Hepworth does this to move away from preconceptions that can contrast the meaning of the work. Marble and stone are not referred to as life-bringing materials or one that fosters any warmth or connection, similar to the way technology and its mechanic makeup doesn't incite those same ideas either. Instead of relating to the physical ways technology aids in the human experience, Hepworth uses circular shapes and smooth application to detail an approachable, kinder nature to the work that gives way to how technology can foster relationships and be seen for something personal rather than societal or simply inanimate, playing into the woes and whims of the human condition. Light plays off the artist's desired stone marble medium, and through the finish offers a reflective, glossy surface that pairs hand in hand with the presentation of modern progressive technology and the way it has become aesthetically appealing rather than dull, rough, or rocky, going back into the accessibility and presentation of the space. In contrast to Monet's work, Hepworth is not illustrating the foundations of technology's past, but rather its future. Quote, Hepworth gave each of them a name. The two tallest shapes are known as Sea Mother and Sea King. The row ranged before them as Shell, Sea Form, and Young. The rolled Sea Form and two small figures as Embryo and Sea Bird. Close quote. Artificial intelligence can relate to the piece because these forms are more than just forms. They are physical, tailored manifestations that have acquired context, relatability, and even names that could be understood on a humanistic level. The color of this piece illustrates how cold technology can be at its core, but conceptualized and felt on a level so personal its artificial makeup is overlooked and seen for something comparable to a friend, family member, or loved one. Color can connect both works since both artists were drawn to white as a signal for transformation, youth, and change, using their respective palettes to call back to nature and naturalistic, neutral tones that illustrate the way technology has developed and attempted to balance and coincide with nature. Thank you for watching and listening to my presentation. I hope this information was insightful or at the very least interesting to hear about. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you again.